What's up, guys? Welcome back to Inside Out Precision. You might be wondering why I'm standing here with both my bows, and that's because it is 3 days until opener for elk, deer, bear. Well, bear's been open, but elk and deer season mainly here in Oregon, and I am just making a decision on which bow I want to shoot. So if you've been following me along, you know that I've been shooting this PSE EVL now for about the last 3 months. As you can see, it is set up. I set this bow up specifically for the Total Archery Challenge. So I got a back bar, my scope is on it, 16-inch front bar. And then I also have my Traverse here, which if you've been following me, you know that I have an affinity for this bow. I love my EVL. This thing is shooting amazing. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, but the Traverse just holds a special spot in my heart. So I've been shooting these bows a bunch the last couple days, and I think the Traverse is gonna get the nod. Now I know you're probably thinking like, what? Like, you got this new bow and you're gonna shoot your old one? And this honestly had nothing to do with the Traverse shooting any better than the EVL. This really came down to convenience for me. So I give people crap all the time coming in, 5 days before season and needing all this stuff and being unprepared. But quite honestly, working at a bow shop, this time of year, like, we have been absolutely buried. Getting here at 8:30, 9 o'clock when we open at 10 and stay until 7:30, 8 o'clock, when we close at 6. I really just have not had time to mess with all my stuff. And right now, the way this EVL is set up, it's shooting so well that I don't want to mess with things. I would need a different sight on here because I'm not going to hunt with a scope, which would mean taking it off of my Traverse, putting it on here, getting a new sight tape. I would also have to play with the stabilizer configuration because I'm not going to hunt with this stabilizer configuration. It's just too much weight and too cumbersome to carry around. So really, I'd be getting used to a new bow, or not a new bow, but used to how this bow feels with only, running a front bar on it. Really close to season. And then on top of that, the arrows that this bow is tuned to perfectly right now, those Axis 4mm 300s, they have the short 2-inch tack vanes on them, and that's just not a big enough vane in my opinion to steer a broadhead well. So that would mean either I shoot, completely retune it with these X impacts that have the 2.75-inch tack drivers on them, or I have to completely strip down all the arrows that I have and replace them with these tack drivers. And to be honest, I just don't really want to do that right now. I also only have I think 9 of these left, so I can only do 3 arrows, and I don't have time to order more before season starts. My Traverse, on the other hand, last year I shot the 280 carbon injections, really close in weight to this. They were only about 15 grains heavier than these 250s. Same diameter, really similar spine, and pretty much didn't have to do anything. It was a plug and play. I put these on, I had to make one little adjustment on my top hats. They shot tail left by just, such a small amount, like 1/8 of an inch. But I got, shimmed them over, shimmed the cams over, shot through paper again with my bare shaft and flet shaft. Both gave me a perfect hole. Shot them at 30 yards. They're pretty much touching. They were like, probably 3/8 of an inch apart. So it was just an easy go. I've just left this bow set up the way I've always hunted with it, so I'm used to the way this bow feels with the quiver and the stabilizer and all that. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me. I don't think I shoot either one of these bows any better. Obviously, the way that this EVL is set up with the scope and the longer bars, at distance it has an advantage just because I have a 5-power lens and a little bit more stable hold with that back bar configuration. But I'm so used to this Traverse, like it just gets me. Like, I was shooting it earlier on the range here, and I was shooting 40 yards, and all my arrows, I think I had 1 that was out of the X. I had 4 in the X and 1, about 1.5 inches low right, still in the spot though. So it's not like I shoot this EVL so much better that I can't not set it up. I'm excited to shoot the Traverse. In my opinion, Matthews hasn't really come out with anything for me that's better than this bow. I'm hoping they change that this year. But it was like a plug and play, like I said. My sight tape, which is kind of crazy, like I said, these are about 15 grains lighter than last year. 20, 30, 40, once I got my 20 resighted just by moving the housing here, my 20, 30, and 40 were dead nuts. I shot 50, which if I stand where the camera is right now, I can kind of thread the needle through the merchandise area here down to the 40 yard. And even my 50 is still in the spot. It's on the top third of the spot, but it's still in the spot. So I'm gonna go out tomorrow and shoot this at distance. I'm guessing that once I get out to that 70, 80 yard range, they're gonna hit, substantially higher, probably 4 or 5 inches. But I have the sight tapes that I need if I need to change that. This is a 493 grain arrow. It's going 284 feet a second. Conversely, the EVL here, it was a 450 grain arrow going 303. I really want to send that arrow with a Grim Reaper Pro 3 on it through an animal. It's going to I can't wait to see the hole that an arrow going that speed is going to produce. But literally just for convenience right now, this bow is shooting, the EVL is shooting so well the way it's set up. I don't want to retune it to these arrows. I don't want to strip down all my other arrows. So for that reason, the Traverse is getting the nod. The other change I'm making this year is I'm going to run my Stand Perfects handheld release for, this is a thumb button. I'm going to try it for hunting this year. I've always been reluctant because I'm worried I'm going to misplace it. But I've got a pretty cool little system. It's one of those like paracord survival bracelets with just a little buckle on it. And then I just threaded some D-loop material through that and hooked that to the release here. What's nice about that is that obviously when I'm hunting, I'm gonna have it hooked up. I could just clip it to my string, but I'm just worried that I'm gonna bump the trigger with my leg or something and the release is gonna fall off. So I can hook that up, just have it around my wrist, and then if I'm just hiking in the dark and shooting something's not an option at that time, I can just take the bracelet portion of it, clip it to my pack belt right there, and I've got my release right there. If I need to get it, right at daylight, if something steps out and it's still in my pack, I can unhook it, just grab the release and hook it up and shoot with that strap dangling, no problem. I've tried it, it works. So I'm gonna do that. It seems to be a pretty good system. I lucked out in the sense that I didn't have to change my peep height at all. My short and sweet and this Stand Perfects, for whatever reason, like peep height did not change at all. So like I said, I didn't have to hardly change anything at all on this bow. I would have had to make a lot of changes to this bow. I'm so used to the way both of them are shooting. I just don't really want to mess with them. So that's my decision. I do not recommend doing what I do and waiting till the last the 11th hour to figure out what bow you're going to shoot. But it is what it is. Like I said, we've been absolutely buried here at the shop, but we've been able to keep bows, cranking out at a pretty consistent speed, and everybody's getting their stuff. So I don't know why I thought you guys would care about what bow I'm going to shoot, but I get a lot of questions like, so which bow do you like better, your Traverse or your EVL? So I thought I'd make this little video on it. And yeah, that's going to be what's going to hunt early season. I am going to set this up for late season. I want to get used to shooting this thing. I want to put an arrow through a deer with this in our late season here. So that will come. But anyway, if you have any questions about either of these setups, feel free to hit me up in the comment section below. Make sure you head over to InsideOutPrecision.com, check out the merch. And yeah, for all you guys on the West Coast here, I know a lot of the season openers are either this week or next week for most of the Western states. So, hunt hard, be safe, send me pictures, and yeah, just have a great time. I know I can't wait to get out and just slow down for a week. So thanks again for watching. Remember, precision is a decision. Keep them in the middle, and I'll see you on the range.